Great trading opportunity for Starbucks, American stock. As you can see here, we can see the Starbucks ID, the symbol, the weekly time frame. I have already recorded a couple of videos talking about this particular scenario for Starbucks stock, the American stock, very important coffee seller stock. Okay, they are everywhere with franchises everywhere in the world, in airports and in malls, in commercial centers in Europe. Everywhere, they're everywhere. And I recorded a video a few weeks ago where I was talking about earnings report for Starbucks. That was over here. That was a positive earning report, and I was talking about the monthly supply level. It's not seen on this chart analysis, but because this is a weekly time frame, as you can see. And I was talking about earnings reports and stocks and how you should, well, you can't ignore them. I mean, most people nowadays, they use earnings reports. They are subscribed to many websites where financial services where they will get all kind of reports, what the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, the quarters. I mean, the earnings reports are estimations, okay, by analysts, and they take that into consideration to place the trades. And most of the time, the opposite happens, as you probably know if you've been following me for a while. Okay, so my name is Alfonso Moreno. I'm trading supply and demand imbalances, which have nothing to do with support and resistance. So here on Starbucks, I've been talking about this for a while. Oops, I moved it by mistake. How do I undo this? Well, doesn't matter. Okay, I'm using my tablet right now. So we've got an imbalance over here sitting at $93 and almost $94 per share. And we're expecting this, okay? And even this, breaking the supply level that is trading at 104. And that provided the pullback needed, the dip for Starbucks or those investors interested in buying shares of Starbucks stock. Oh, it provided the pullback, the dip, okay? So what we expect in this is, as I said, this rally. So whatever happens in the middle on the way down or in this rectangle, which is a demand level, is irrelevant, okay? Bad news, good news, it doesn't really matter, okay? Many people hate me for that. I mean, I have received quite a lot of emails, and when I say quite, in uppercase, people, some of them like insulting me. It's just insane how people can get angry about all this, okay? They can get to the personal insults. They get it too personal. I mean, I'm just a trader trying to make money trading, and also I have my courses and my online trading academy and all that, but I don't know why people get so, I don't know, excited, and they hate what I do, and they do not understand why I ignore earnings reports, because they believe that everything is like happens around earnings, and earnings move the markets and all that. Of course, I mean, earnings can provide this rally, okay, and can help this happen, but usually it happens the opposite. So here we had positive news. You can refer to my previous video, maybe 2 months ago, something like that, on my YouTube channel, and there were positive earnings, and look what happened. So, okay, if you have positive earnings for a particular stock, in this case, Starbucks stock, then logic tells you that this should happen, and the stock price should continue to rally, breaking highs, etc. But did all this happen? So why? Well, we had a weekly supply level there. You just cannot buy shares of Starbucks stock with positive earnings with this obstacle. This is like accelerating your car when you see a policeman in the middle of the street, or you are about to pay for a toll service when you are driving on a motorway or a highway, okay? So you just stop because the policeman has the authority, and then you have to decelerate. So when you have positive news and you have a strong obstacle, buying is insane, okay? So I do not use earning reports to place my trades, and people hate me for that. obviously others know me and know what I'm doing, and they believe what I'm doing because they see that every day. Okay, so what happens here is that, as I said, Starbucks stock retrace there. You can check the video and the expectancy on that video on my YouTube channel. And now that we are down there, that strong weekly area of demand that we've been waiting for a couple of months, now it's been trading at that area for about 4 weeks, almost a month, $93, $94 per share. So what can we do now? Okay, I am already positioned on this trade and I'm expecting this. Okay, could this happen? Of course, Starbucks stock could continue to drop to lower levels. What can I do about it? It could be a loss. That's it. One of many losses in my trading career. And probably if you buy shares for whatever reason, because you are using other strategies or using other methodologies and you taking into consideration earning reports and all that, you can take intraday, do scalping on stocks, whatever you want. Okay, so this could happen, and losses are part of the trading game. I mean, you will have losses and you will have winners, but we want more winners than losses. That's it. Okay, so I don't care if this is a loss, but I don't think this is going to happen. I believe this is going to happen. Okay, because there is a long-term, long bias for Starbucks stock, and regardless of earnings reports, earnings will be positive, negative, and the stock will be doing like this, and they will be coming into or bumping into these imbalances, and from there they will rebound. Okay, regardless of the earnings being positive or negative, it's irrelevant. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that I am not using earnings reports, and the methodology that I have created and I use to place trades on stocks, forex, and cryptos or any market, ignore earnings reports. That doesn't mean that you cannot use earnings reports in stocks, earnings releases, or whatever, okay, or even in forex, on cryptos, and all that. It doesn't really matter, okay, when you're using the bigger time frames, long-term imbalances, because these imbalances control the market, drive the markets. You like it or not, okay, you hate me or not, these imbalances control the markets. So you can, I don't know, cry, scream at me, yell at me, you won't change the fact that supply and demand rules the world. So you don't want to believe that? Up to you, my friend. So going back to what I was saying, we are expecting this on Starbucks. So you like it or not, be it a winner or not, this is what we are expecting, because it is reacting to this strong imbalance, because Starbucks stock is reacting to this imbalance. So what happens also is that many times earnings reports are responsible for creating imbalances. Okay, you may not be aware of them, or even those who buy or sell, the big investors, the hedge funds and all that, they are not aware of what they are doing, because obviously they are moving the markets with so much capital. They are buying hundreds of thousands of shares, and that moves the market. Okay, so they know already some internal data from the company, and they position themselves, okay, in this case, in a bullish bias, and they buy shares. And then after a very strong rally, they shouldn't be buying anymore, okay? Because if they average the number of shares that they are buying, the average will be higher and higher as price goes higher. So this happens, and then when that happens, they buy again, okay? So otherwise, they will change the market. So we are expecting this. So what happens with news and earnings events? So here, what happened here is that it was a positive earnings, I believe. Okay, so let me check it out. And I believe there was a very strong average demand on the daily time frame, located down there at around $92 per share. And that is the one that was mentioned on Center for Online Trading Academy, and also in previous videos analysis here on YouTube. And I'm going to analyze this one. So let me go to the daily time frame. Okay, so the daily time frame, this is what we have. Okay, Starbucks started to move sideways, and then suddenly it rallied strongly. Which day? I mean, the beginning or the middle of November 2023, like 2 months ago. So price rallies strongly and creates the strongest gap in many, many months for Starbucks. Okay, I believe it was like 20% or something like that. So Starbucks stock moves from $92 and then it opens the next day at 101, more or less. Okay, I'm drawing these lines with my S Pen on my Samsung tablet. So it's like $10 approximately, okay, with a gap. No trading within it. Gaps tend to be filled, usually. Many times they don't, okay? But in this case, price continues to rally and hits that monthly supply level I mentioned before, okay? So let me go back to the weekly time frame. Okay, so the earnings, positive, okay? The earnings happened and price rallied all the way up there. All this here, which is a very wide candlestick body, this one over here, printed in November, I believe. There is where that strong daily demand level resides. Okay, right there. So what happened is that the stock rallied because of the positive earnings, and that positive earnings, okay, this one over here, let me draw it for you. I'm going to use the drawing tool probably somewhere. I'm not used to do this on my tablet, so we'll see. Well, let me do this. Yeah, drawing, and I'm usually using the Fibonacci retracement to do that. I'm not using the Fib retracement, okay, to do anything because I don't trade Fibonacci retracements. I don't care about them, even though there are strategies that use them. I don't. I just use it because it gives me the possibility to extend the rectangle. So that's the use I'm giving to the Fibonacci retracement, okay? So this is what happened. This was a positive earnings. I don't know. Okay, there it is. And that was a surprise, 9% plus, blah, blah, blah. The surprise was like 83 millions, million dollars. That was in the 2nd of November, 2023. So that strong, that positive earnings, okay, happened there and helped Starbucks stock to rally into the strong obstacle on the weekly time frame, which I have already explained in the previous minutes. Okay, so when that happens, okay, it tells us that there is here a strong imbalance. Okay, there are reasons for this imbalance to exist. This is not an imbalance. Okay, this is not an imbalance. This is not an imbalance. This is not an imbalance. Okay, this is an imbalance. Not because of the earnings reports. It's because there are rules to detect these imbalances, okay? So I'm just pointing them out. I'm not telling you why. This is a very long discussion, okay? So this imbalance is located exactly at a tablet. It doesn't allow me to move this, but well, more or less. It's located at around $92, okay? So it rallies like a lot, and then it takes a few weeks for price to create a bearish impulse, correction, bearish impulse, it corrects, it drops, and then it reaches that demand level. Okay? And I've been recording a couple of videos. I've recorded already a couple of videos that I share on YouTube, and we're expecting this. So what I'm trying to say here is that an earnings report in a stock can create an imbalance, but if it is created in the wrong place, then we've got a problem. Okay? If it's created that, if the earnings report happens over there, positive, then it doesn't really matter. We've got supply, and probably this is going to happen. It could continue to rally, obviously, but usually you don't buy into an obstacle, into a supply level. You don't buy into resistance if you are using support and resistance stock trading strategy, okay? But now we've got a demand level there. This whole rectangle over there is between $94 and $89 per share for Starbucks stock is the weekly time frame. And here we have the resulting demand level on the daily time frame, which is sitting between 92 and 90.5 dollars per share. So it hit that level over there in the middle of January, around the 17th of January, and it's been like ranging a little bit, accumulating, and now it's about to break these highs. Hopefully it will happen. If this happens, this is going to happen most likely. Okay, we are always talking about probabilities and possibilities. Okay, this is not an exact science. Okay, but we've got a strong imbalance on the weekly time frame, earnings report over there if you're using them. I'm just trying to tell you that earnings reports do not matter, but they might end up creating imbalances sometimes. Okay, and if they happened and the right trend is there and the right imbalance and all that, then you can use these imbalances to, and these earnings report or these imbalances resulting from an old earnings report, you can use them. Okay, so now it's been sitting there for a couple of weeks. Okay, and today is this 30th of January 2023, so still 3 days left for this week for the weekly candle to close. So let's go back to the weekly time frame. Okay, so it's been reacting to that imbalance over there. Okay, for 1, 2, 3.5 a week, 3.5 weeks. This is the like January, and then this is what we are expecting. Okay, all this is happening, like I said, at a strong imbalance on the weekly time frame at $94, and this imbalance in the nested inside that weekly imbalance is on the daily and was produced and created, as I explained before, by a strong earnings report that you can see here on the daily time frame that originated this strong bullish gap, which tend to be filled with time, and if the trend is there and all the variables that will allow us to buy shares of Starbucks stock, then we can go ahead. And that's what I've been explaining the last couple of videos shared this January 2024. Okay, so summing up, okay, supply and demand imbalances in the bigger time frames, okay, trump any earnings releases and reports. Okay, obviously sometimes the negative earnings will be like this, okay, and it will go down, no problem, but that's not what usually happens. What usually happens is when we have a demand level, okay, and we have negative reports, this happens. When price reaches a supply level and we have positive reports, the opposite happens. And I could show you not hundreds, but thousands of examples. Okay, so to those who always contact me in private, and sometimes I have to moderate messages on YouTube because they are insulting me, like you are a coward, you should say this, you should say that. It's just insane how people can take all this that personal. Okay, so this is what usually happens, and I base my strategy on this, and I never use earnings, so I am doing that. So leave me alone and let me do what I do, and you do whatever you do. I mean, if you are so irritated by what I do, just don't follow me. I mean, then you have a very sad life because you are like insulting others, criticizing others, when you should just be making love to your wife or husband if you are a woman, and forget about it. Okay, leave me alone. Okay, I'm doing my best to help others to make money and to understand why markets are being manipulated and earnings reports are useless if you are using the bigger time frames and you are using imbalances. Obviously, if you are scalping stock market using intraday stock strategies and methodologies, then obviously earnings reports matter, because if this happens and you have a bearish bias, you are dead, my friend. Okay, but if you are using the bigger time frames, as I do, earnings reports do not matter. Okay, you don't like it? Okay, no problem. You like it? Okay, no problem. It is irrelevant to you? No problem. Okay, but just leave others or leave me alone. Okay, let me do my things. Okay, I'm not insulting anybody. So this is what we are expecting. Let's see. Let's cross our fingers so that this trade continues to rally on Starbucks Stock Corporation. Thank you for those who follow me. Bye-bye.